Yo, what is happening, guys, and welcome back to another video. This is your VCT Masters Tokyo breakdown, the only breakdown you're gonna need here. We're gonna watch the everything you need to know video that Riot just released. We're gonna do pickems for group stages, and we'll come back to it when it comes to playoffs. And I'm also gonna tell you one player from each team that you need to look out for. So now, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's watch this video. It's a minute 30. Who is that? Meteor? Didn't even qualify. C9 Leaf? Didn't even qualify. Something. That guy's a demon. You need to watch for him.
Teams will meet in Tokyo to establish how the best of the best from the international
That's a
leagues
sick video.
and preview the level of competition and champions.
Okay, Forsaken.
Attending the event earn their spots by placing.
Damn, bro. C9 really should have qualified. That's unfortunate.
The tournament will see representatives from the Americas, EMEA, and Pacific leagues, as well as 2 teams from China.
Yep.
Taking
EDG and ASC.
through the 25th, Masters will begin with a group stage, followed by an 8-team double.
Stage is only 3 days.
All matches will be best of 3, with the exception of the lower bracket finals and the grand final, which will be best of 5. The 12 teams who qualified for Masters Tokyo will be split into 2 groups. The 3 teams
Yes,
who finish
EMEA has
first in
4
their international
slots.
league will be placed directly into the double elimination bracket. Additionally, the number 2 EMEA seed will also be placed in the elimination bracket as a result of their region winning lock-in and earning an additional slot. The remaining 8 teams will have to battle through a double elimination group stage. Each group will play through a 4-team double elimination bracket with 2 teams emerging from each of the 2 groups. Those 4 teams will then be randomly placed into the double elimination bracket where the top seeded teams have been waiting. Teams from the same group will be placed on opposite sides of the bracket to prevent a repeat match early in the winner's bracket. The winner of this double elimination bracket will be crowned the Masters Tokyo champion.
So sick, so
For more
sick.
about Masters Tokyo, check out ValorantEsports.com and follow our socials.
Okay, so thankfully, that bracket that they had for at lock-in in Brazil, where it was single elimination, they're getting rid of that, and where it's like 4 teams make the playoffs, quote unquote. That shit was ass. We're going back to old style Valorant, double elimination. Or actually, old style was single elimination, but like the best format that Valorant has had has been, well, was last year when it was a double elimination brackets. It's dope. The group leaders or like the regional tournament winners actually just qualify straight to playoffs. In the past, it has proven to be a problem. Take note for XSET. Last year at Copenhagen, they went 2-0 because they automatically qualified to playoffs. And honestly, sometimes it's not worth winning your region. I don't know why. It's just like a fucking curse. So let's get right into pickems. All right, so apart from the Chinese league, I actually spent a lot of time this season watching Pacific, even though games were at like 5 in the morning. That shit was ass. I watched EMEA, that shit was around noon my time, and then of course the Americas region, which was at 3 and 6 p.m. my time. So I spent a lot of time invested in the season. So I think realistically I should have a good chance of knowing. And for lock-in, I did all right. I think I had about like a 70% correct rate. I'll have to check. But let's get started. The opening match is a banger. It starts off with NRG versus Navi. They knew what they're doing. This group A, 100% the group of death. This would be 100% the group I don't want to be in. DRX, I'm a DRX fan. Thankfully, they got the easy group. They should have no problem qualifying to the playoffs. If they struggle, I have no faith. However, let's get started. NRG versus Navi. So the NRG team has the Optic core, and Optic is known to getting off to slow starts and doing lower bracket runs. So I think the same will continue. I think Navi will get the win here. Then when it comes to EDG versus T1, my bold take is a Chinese team will make top 3. You will see a Chinese team in the lower bracket finals. In the lower finals, they will be there. They will not make the grand finals because they'll lose to a better team, but I think a Chinese team will make a run at this event. But will it be EDG? I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to go T1 here. And then from here, NRG versus EDG. This is where NRG wakes up. Crashies, Victor, FNS, Sam, Artist. Yo, we have on that NRG team, there are 4 world champions, or 3 masters and then another masters. There's no Valorant champions, but they're masters champions. They have won international tournaments, so that experience should come through. They should easily make the elimination match and end up in the 2nd playoff spot. I think here at Navi just gonna 2-0 them. And then T1 versus NRG. Again, NRG is just a proven powerhouse. It's just unfortunate. I was hoping there would be some upsets here, but I just don't think there will be. So I think I'm going to go NRG here. Navi and NRG both will qualify. In Group B, we got DRX, ASE, and Foot Esports, along with Evil Geniuses. DRX should have no problem here. However, in this Foot Esports versus Evil Geniuses, EG has been EG had a great season, to be honest. They started off slow and they just picked it up as the season went on. They introduced Demon 1 and they just started tearing it up. So I think Foot Esports, with the power of Kiwi, honestly, might be a top 5 duelist in EMEA. In EMEA, I mean, that's not saying a lot because there's only 10 teams, but Kiwi's solid, bro. That's why they made playoffs. I think Foot wins this comfortably, and I think right here, this is where it gets interesting. I told you a Chinese team will make the lower bracket final. I think it's Attack and Soul Esports. These Chinese teams have had a month to prepare, just try out new shit. Like, they have so many comps that haven't been like seen. I will come back to this I will come back to these predictions once playoff starts, because I want to do a reaction as well as a playoff pick'ems. I can't do that now because we don't know who's going against who in the playoffs. It's a completely new drawing, so we don't know who will have to face who in the playoffs. So that's my pick'ems. All right, here are the 16 players, or at least one player from each team that you should have to look out for in this Masters Tokyo run. So for NRG, I have Victor. Victor was arguably the best player at NRG last season, or this season, in the Regional Americas League. However, his playoff run left a lot to be desired. He was really slow in playoffs. He wasn't great. Navi does a lot of trolling. They have seen that on Yoru. They had Angel on Yoru. They had a lot of Yoru when it just didn't matter. I guess they didn't want to leak any tech. I think they felt confident that they would reach Tokyo, so they were just like doing whatever. You know, they were just like not really trying. They were playing Yoru for like 3 weeks up until the Fnatic game, and then they put CNET back on Jet. I just don't think he was ready for that. I don't know. So they got blown out by Fnatic in the regular season. But I think if Navi have any hope, and if they want to make it a deep playoff run, I think they definitely have to do it behind their duelist CNET. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know much. I didn't watch a single. I've watched at least every team play once except for the Chinese team. Now with EDG, the player to look out for is Smoggy. As you can see, his stats are crazy. He is not their primary Jet player, although he does play Jet. He plays KJ, Breach. I think he's like their flex player. I don't really know because he plays everything in the last, what is this, 30 days? If EDG want to make a run and potentially make playoffs, which I don't think they will, it will be behind Smoggy. Whatever Smoggy does, Smoggy will take them as far as they can get. Now for T1, the player to watch out for is Saya player. He formerly played in NA. He was on T1 and on the guard back when they were NA teams, and then he made the switch over to Pacific when franchising came out. I don't know what the decision behind that was. He is South Korean, so I imagine he speaks the language fluently. He was the player in the Pacific region with the most operator kills. It's a fun fact. So I think Saya player is their most important player. I saw that lower final against DRX where they lost 3-2, and let me tell you, Saya player was off his mind. He played that great. I honestly thought they could have had a chance to win it, even though DRX is my team. I think T1 played a great game. So for DRX, the player to look out for is Buzz. I could have gone with either Buzz or Mako. Mako is the best player, and in fact, he was the MVP of the Pacific region for VCT Pacific this season. However, with Mako, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get consistent numbers. I think all eyes will be on either Buzz or RB. With Buzz, however, he's been a mainstay on Killjoy. However, he has been playing Jet, and he's been playing Jet because Foxy9 got benched and replaced with Zest. So it really remains to be seen. If Buzz is on Jet, we need to see what he can provide, what he can bring. If not, on KJ, he's dominant. He's dominant on both characters, to be fair. I think he is their best player. Now on Attack and Soul Esports, we have Monk. Again, not a guy I know much about. You see his stats right here. He's a KJ one trick for the most part. He has 29 games on KJ, 630 rounds. He looks good. He's solid. I think his alias is Parmesan. That's a fire alias. But if Attack and Soul Esports will make the lower final run that I think they will, it will be behind Monk. Not much to say other than that. Now, I didn't see Foot Esports too much during the season. I did get to see Foot go against Navi in the elimination lower bracket, and I did see them against Team Liquid in the lower bracket final where they got kind of destroyed. However, I saw Kiwi playing Neon on Lotus, and it was giving me very Leaf vibes. And honestly, now that I'm seeing Kiwi, I'm very upset that we're not going to be able to see Leaf at VCT Tokyo, because I think he was probably the best player in the world apart from Ashpas. But Kiwi's he's an operator. He's their duelist player, and he has an exceptional Neon. If they play Lotus, I'm excited to see what they can do. Although I think they're gonna go 2-0. Actually, I think they might win one. Who knows? But they're not making playoffs. I think the teams making out of playoffs in this group will be DRX and Attack and Soul Esports. Now we have EG. And for a lot of these teams, I chose their best player, or like their most important player. However, for EG, I'm looking at the replacement for Demon 1. If I'm not mistaken, it is Reform that they're putting into the lineup. They're not putting BCJ. They're not putting Screwface. They're gonna plug in Reformed. I think they've been already running scrims. They've already been like they've already been integrating them into the side. I honestly thought they would have done that during playoffs. Once they already qualified, I thought they would have just done it in lower bracket and things like that, but they didn't. I guess they wanted the best chance to make it to the upper bracket final or whatever. However, I haven't seen much of Reformed. He hasn't played at all this season. The last time he played, in fact, was August 27th, 2022. He hasn't played a professional game of Valorant in almost a year, 10 months actually. So I'm excited to see what he can do, what he can bring to EG. I think EG will go 2-0 for Tokyo. I think Tokyo will be disappointing, but the disappointments in Tokyo, I think they will make playoffs and champs. That's for later. That's for later. Now we're coming to the playoff qualified teams, and for Loud, I think Aspas is the go-to. Not much to say. Aspas is arguably the best player in the world, apart from maybe Durka and Leaf. I think there's an argument for either of those two, or three in total. But Aspas was literally a Jet only player for the entire season. Then the playoffs came. He played Raze, he played Neon, and bruh, he doesn't miss a beat. This guy's insane. So we have 4 playoffs team, and there's 2 of them are EMEA. The reason being that Fnatic won locked in, and because of that, there were 4 EMEA slots, and the top 2 EMEA teams automatically made playoffs, which actually, in fact, it helps Fnatic, because it turns out that they ended up finishing second in the season, or in the league. Even though they went 9-0 in regular season, they lost to Team Liquid in playoffs. And that leads me to my next point. Nats is the guy to watch. Nats, a demon. Is he a world champion? No, he's a Masters champion. And bro, this guy, we hadn't seen him in internationals for all of 2022 because the whole Gambit thing with Russia and Ukraine. And then M3C, or Mech Champions, or I forgot what the team was rebranded to. They didn't qualify to any international events. And then franchising came. He joins Liquid with Redguard, Yampi, Safe. They lost to fucking, what team was that? Fucking Team Secret. They lost to what? Yeah, they lost to Team Secret at lock-in. It was a horrible performance. So now we have Fnatic. Fnatic. They hadn't lost in 241 days. Just look at this. Look at this. All right, we're not gonna count any of this. We're gonna look from Sao Paulo. They hadn't lost from February 24th, beating Sentinels, beating Furia, beating 100 Thieves, shit on Navi. That miraculous 11-3 comeback against Loud. They went 9-0 in the regular season. They beat the upper bracket semifinals against Foot. They beat Liquid in the upper finals, and they got shit on in the grand finals. So Fnatic got a chip on their shoulder. Who else but Durka to dig up out of that hole? Durka is a top 3 player in the world. This guy's insane. This guy's a demon. And even when Fnatic don't do great, even though they like 2-0 most teams, Durka's their best player. The thing with Fnatic, I think they are the one true super team in this tournament, or in all of Valorant, actually, in all of franchising. They have arguably 4 of the top 15 players in the world in Durka, Leo, Chronicle, and Alphayer. Now, the last team I will be talking about is PRX, the Pacific Regional Champions, and better known as W Key Gaming. After benching Benkai, and that honestly surprised many, they introduced something, and let me tell you, that guy is probably the best raw aimer I've seen in my life. I think other teams will get adjusted to that playstyle, and I think because of that, they'll struggle. If they have any hope of actually doing well in Tokyo, it'll be behind something. All right, guys, so that has been my Masters Tokyo breakdown. I did my pick'ems. I told you a player to watch out for on each team. Now, you guys comment down below who you think will be winning Masters Tokyo and what player you're excited to see play on LAN. Like, yes, they've been playing on LAN, but like in front of like a crowd of like 200 people is completely different from a stadium full of thousands of people. So that has been me. It has been Jacob. Leave a like, comment down below what kind of content you guys would like to see next. This is something different than your just average gameplay. I will have a gameplay video up soon. I hope you guys did enjoy this kind of video, and until next time, guys, take care.